Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. No, this is not Sunday Night Baseball. This is Sunday Night with Just a Bit Outside. I'll call that a close second place, but, can't quite hold up to ESPN just yet.
It's all relative, I guess, right?
It is all relative. Hey, got to put on the winning jersey today.
Yeah.
Philly finally creeping a little closer to 500. I'm not sure if you saw any other games today, John, but it's been a good last week or so of baseball news, scores. Been out there.
Yeah, the Phils look pretty decent out there in Colorado. We'll take that.
And what's not looking pretty decent so far is if you're a Oakland fan. The Oakland Athletics have an agreement in place to move to Vegas. Well, not move to Vegas, but they've purchased a plot of land right down the road from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Ponders the question of, are the Athletics finally on the move, John?
Yeah, it would seem so. I mean, it could be a negotiating tactic, right, which happens a lot, but it's been a long time coming, man. They had that reverse boycott, or they're trying to get that reverse boycott going, where they're trying to fill the stadium, right, which is kind of pathetic that you have to, make a point of, going to the games.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you compare it to a place like Philly, and, of course, we all bet homer take because we're used to it there. But, I mean, on Dollar Dog Night, they sold out, 42.9 or whatever is capacity, and they had 43,000 plus, right, for, a random Dollar Dog Night. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I wouldn't blame them for leaving. I think that Las Vegas is trying to expand its footprint in general, and it's been rumored for a while. So either this is a strong arm negotiating tactic, or it's a legitimate step towards actually moving.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting too, because I don't know what it is with Vegas, but apparently Vegas just loves taking teams from Oakland.
Yeah.
Did it with the Raiders. The hockey team was the expansion team, but actually, if you want to talk MLB expansion rumors, Vegas was always one of those places that could be rumored to get a team. So,
I mean, you think about it, and it's like, what does Oakland have to offer as geographically it's close to LA and it's close to San Diego and all those places, right? Do you need to have another sports city right there? I don't think you do.
I mean, Oakland's always had a rich history, though. Even with the basketball team and the baseball team, the football team, they've always had a rich history. It's just modern management has just really screwed them.
What's the basketball team?
Weren't the Warriors? The Warriors were in.
No, they're Golden State. They're in San Fran.
But they were in Oakland.
Were they?
I thought their old arena was in Oakland, and then they moved to San Fran to get out of Oakland.
Let's find out.
Yeah, Google me on that. To pull a Joe Rogan, check me on that, John. Check that. I don't want to spread false information here, but I'm fairly positive the Warriors at one point were housed in Oakland.
You could be right. It's possible. I've been wrong once.
But just once?
Just one time.
Just one time. We'll leave it at that. But, I think they agreed on the land and supposedly a $1 billion agreement to build a stadium in Vegas. So I guess Vegas is. Imagine. I was talking to one of my friends about this. If you build a stadium and you kind of make it like Toronto, you know how Toronto's got the hotel out there in center field overlooking everything.
Yeah.
Imagine a live casino.
Yeah.
In center field, and your blackjack or your table dealer's just sitting there dealing cards, and right behind them, you can just watch the game.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right, Tim. It looks like the Oakland Coliseum Arena, the arena in Oakland.
Take my wins. So teams love.
I guess they're 30 minutes apart. Sorry, they're literally 30 minutes apart, Oakland and San Francisco. So it's all kind of the same.
Yeah, but with the potential move now, I was reading too, it takes Vegas out as a expansion market team, since they're going to be moving. And it really doesn't punish Oakland's owner at all for just doing an absolutely terrible job of managing this team. You can't move garbage, rebrand it, and expect it to be good.
I mean, look at Dan Snyder, right? You get rewarded for buying your team for what? It was a $400 million, and he's going to get $7 billion or something. End of the day, and at 25 years of just atrocious management. So it's just sports teams go up, man.
John, when are we going to hit the lottery and buy a crappy sports team and turn around? Let's be like who is it who bought the soccer team with
It's
Ryan
Wrexham. They
Reynolds?
just got promoted, actually.
Yeah,
It's Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
right, McElhenney.
Yeah, and they just got promoted yesterday or 2 days ago, I want to say. So
yesterday.
yeah, big dub for Wrexham, dude.
Let's do that, John. Let's hit the lottery and we'll buy a team like Wrexham and sell it for even more money.
I don't think there's a lot of money to be made in anything except like the highest level of sports. Generally speaking, right?
That's true. So, and what's kind of funny too, with going back to the whole Oakland thing, is I put a story, or I copied a link from Twitter to the BW Sports One page. When the Mets were out in Oakland, the Mets couldn't be in the visitors broadcast booth.
Oh, I saw that
because there was a possum living in the booth. So it's like Oakland's just screaming the movie Major League right now, just trying to intentionally be bad so they can move, except this time the owner's winning. But
they are bad, dude. They are very bad.
Just, I don't like it. I don't like it. The owner's getting rewarded for doing absolutely nothing. He gets what he wants in the end. And Oakland gets left without a sports team. Your opinion one way or another on the city of Oakland or anything like that in general. But a fan base loses its team because the owner is a greedy SOB and doesn't want to put money into the team.
I mean, it's still a franchise after all, right? So it doesn't matter. I mean, I guess it does matter where it goes, but you have like the Colts from Baltimore to Indianapolis, right? You have the Rams that went to LA from St. Louis, right? That was a big deal. And I guess the owner had to pay $700 million or something like that in a lawsuit. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's symbiotic to an extent, right? I mean, so even if the owner sucks, like you still want what's best for the franchise to an extent, right? So either you have to get the owner out and they enrich themselves and they make money when they shouldn't have made money, or you have to move the franchise to a place where it becomes more viable, right? So down the road, the owner can potentially sell for more, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Give me one second here. I didn't plan this right. It's getting a little dark. I got to turn the light on in here. For what little difference that'll make right now. I'm all about the aesthetics, John.
Clearly.
Gotta look. Hey, I don't look good, but I have to make everything around me look good.
Tim, you look great. Don't play yourself short, buddy.
Speaking of not looking good, holy crap, the Chicago Cubs. I'm just gonna say it right now. The Cubs losing the perfect game in the fashion they did is going to be on blooper reels for the rest of the time.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, dude. Pretty bad.
And of all people, Drew Smiley. I mean, journeyman all throughout, and that was a game too. I started out. I had a free bet to use, so I started it with a parlay of Mookie Betts getting a hit and the Dodgers pitcher getting 4 strikeouts. Well, the Dodgers pitcher's got his strikeouts, but then I go look at the score in the 8th inning, and it's, oh, great, the Dodgers getting a perfect game thrown against them.
Tim and his parlays, dude.
The parlays do tend to get me. But if you haven't seen the video here, let me pull it up. Share. Okay, we're up. And this is how the Cubs lose a perfect game. LOL Chicago.
Little dribbler, third base side, tough play.
No. Come on. That can't be how it ends.
Wow.
It can't be how it ends, but that's exactly how it ended.
I feel like the catcher had time to like get out of the way. I don't know.
But why did he jump?
I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make any sense. I feel like he could have shifted at the end still and missed him. None of it really adds up to me.
I mean, I think that ball had an exit velocity of like 21 miles an hour. So it's just, I don't get it. Why are you, of all the ways to lose a perfect game, that's probably one of the worst ones I've seen.
Yeah. That's pretty bad.
But, outside of that, the Cubs, I don't think are doing too bad on the year. Let me pull up the standings here. Watch me get. Yeah, I mean, they got a winning record. They're 12-9 right now. They're 3 games out. So, I mean, Cody Bellinger's been rocking the ball looking like a MVP caliber player that he was. And did you see how long his home run was on 420?
420 feet.
It was 420 feet.
Yeah. Very poignant.
Hey, the man Must love 420. Well, speaking of, let's just go ahead and touch on this. Is a little old now, but speaking of dumb ways to lose, well, this team didn't technically lose. It's a no-hitter, but they still lost the game. It was Chattanooga, and I have the box score here for you, John, so you can take a look at that. Chattanooga Lookouts versus the Rocket City Trash Pandas. The gloriness of minor league baseball team names. Now, this was a 7-inning doubleheader because in the minor leagues, all doubleheaders are 7 innings long, which big thumbs down for me, but what do I know? Rocket City Trash Pandas give up 7 runs in the 7th and lose. Pitcher walked the bases loaded, I believe. Fly ball to the center fielder. Center fielder just completely drops it out of his glove. 3-run score. Next guy comes in, plunks 2 hitters in a row. Another guy comes in, walks a guy, hits a hitter. And it was ugly, John.
Did you watch the highlights or did you watch it live?
I forget where I was. I was in Baltimore for the game that day. And was just going through the highlights on Twitter and on Bleacher Report.
Okay, gotcha.
Let me see if I may have retweeted it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, Tony and Trout go back to back. The Angels are maybe doing something, John. Who knows?
A lot of false alarms with them being not terrible.
There's a rumor out there too that Ohtani could demand a trade by the trade deadline if they fall out of contention.
I've heard that. I have heard that. And that wouldn't shock me.
Where is it?
Now, if you were the Angels, would you entertain that? Because you'd get back a ransom for him, obviously. But
I would 100% entertain it, because if you let him walk out with nothing, it's going to look even worse than it already does.
Of course.
Come on, I'm almost done. I'm just going through all my Twitter history here. Come on. Where is it? There's the Masters. John Kruk singing. Okay, maybe I did
that hole in one from Kepka today at Live, right? At the party hole. That was wild. I saw that before you had Bear Kreischer's out there with the shirt off, going nuts. Yeah,
I can't find the video, but I did find the story of the Mets and the Possum.
Oh, yeah.
Priorities. But let's just skip on that one. The minor league team, minor league stuff. Speaking of teams not sucking, who would have thought the Rays, Pirates, and the Rangers would all be leading their respective divisions right now?
Dude, the Rays especially, what, they 13-0, I think, before they lost one?
Yeah, 12 or 13-0, and
yeah,
they
pretty crazy.
Immediately bounced back the next night. So let me pull up all the standings here. Yeah, so we've got, and I think Tampa Bay holds the best record in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Yeah, 19-3, and then Baltimore looking strong too. They walked their game off today.
I saw that on a wild pitch.
Yeah,
10th rate. I did see that. Yeah,
with one of my least favorite rules, the Ghost Runner.
Mm-hmm.
AL Central just kind of treading water right now.
Yeah,
nothing really. I mean, unless you're Kansas City, we all know what to expect there. The West right now is looking interesting. Houston's kind of gotten off to a slow start, John.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Who do you think's had the biggest World Series hangover? The Phillies or the Rangers or the Astros?
Phillies started slower, I think. They've started pretty poorly. They're both kind of, they're getting their footing now a little bit, not really, but yeah, definitely the Phillies in that. But again, last year they started like garbage too, so take it off for what you will.
And the bullpen for Philadelphia's standpoint was just terrible, but they finally seem to have found some solid ground right now. And of course,
goes in waves, man.
Yeah, it does. The life of Philadelphia. And just to be clear here, we have admitted multiple times on this program that both John and I are Philly fans, and we do tend to be a little homerish.
Yep.
But on the reverse side, we're in a period of Philadelphia sports right now where everything seems to be going great until the very end, and then you can't win the big one. The Eagles did it to us. The Phillies did it to us.
Don't
The
jinx the
Union
Sixers,
did it
man.
to us.
Don't jinx
Even
Sixers yet.
I didn't even know this one, but the USFL team lost in the championship. I
Right.
totally forgot they had a USFL team.
I also did.
And now the Sixers are making a run.
Don't jinx
So-
it, Tim. Don't jinx it, dude. They swept the first round. And all
Yeah,
poor Ben
against
Simmons.
Brooklyn.
Oh, poor Ben Simmons. Oh, man.
Did you see the tweet from him? I'll never want to sit on the bench and watch my team get swept out of the first round again.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
When he was in Philly and then goes to Brooklyn, gets swept.
Dude, whatever. I hope as a person he can find whatever piece he needs, but I'm glad he's not stealing a paycheck from the Sixers anymore. I'll tell you that.
That's true. Teams who did find peace, though, Pittsburgh and Milwaukee.
Nice
Real
non
close.
sequitur right there, Tim. I like it.
What?
Like a nice non sequitur right there.
Yeah,
I like it.
I try. We've got, if you want to hear more basketball talk, tune into State of Basketball on BW Sports 1. Those guys will cover just about anything, and I'm sure they've bashed Ben Simmons quite enough. So we don't need to, even though we have bashed Ben Simmons pretty frequently. But yeah, dude, Pittsburgh of all teams having the best record in the NL right now.
They do this, man. They have these sneaky runs sometimes. I don't know how much you're gonna, put into it, but
I mean, I will put something into this
my
7-game win
wife's in
streak
the
they've
background,
got.
like talking to the cat.
Yeah. Oh well. Hi, Lauren. We've got a 7-game win streak here for Pittsburgh. So, do you think they keep it up at all, John, or is it a little too early to start weighing into things?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
They're led by Vinny Velo, man.
Yeah. And Kutch is back. I mean, I guess they got that. I mean, that feel good story, Kutch is back, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. That probably gives them a little bit of spark in the early season, but you never know. I mean, I could be wrong. It's happened once. So
Yeah, I've been wrong plenty of times. Speaking of the Pirates and McCutcheon coming back, and we talked about Bellinger a little bit. Both players about 2 weeks ago or so made their returns to McCutcheon, his first series back in Pittsburgh, Bellinger, his first series back against the Dodgers. And one umpire crew gets it right and lets the moment happen. The other umpire crew doesn't. So McCutcheon comes in, the umpire comes out, calls time, does the classic brush off the plate, lets the guy relish in the moment. In the Dodgers game, Bellinger comes out, tries to do a tip to the cap, umpire comes out and rigs him up for strike one. So
that's a problem with the rule is it's like you still have that discretion, right? And I feel like baseball tries to get away from that to an extent, and they try and make it rigid with these clocks and whatnot, but you still have discretion. And I don't know. I think if you set a precedent and it's like, and then you have to decide like which return is important enough to, allow for that, breaking of the rule or abstaining from the rule for a certain period of time. So I don't know. You can't take away the human, effect.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some umpires I feel like are so like, these are the rules and I need to, the guys who always seek the confrontation when it comes to, ball and strike calls and anything like that. And, they need to be the center of attention and they need to enforce the letter of the law as it's written down to the period.
There was one of those
today.
Did you see that one of the managers was mic'd up and he confronted an ump
today?
Yeah. Or it came out today.
Do you remember who it was?
I can't think of who it was, but basically he made a comment along the same lines of like, hey, stop making it about yourself. You're an embarrassment to the profession. I think it was the Orioles game, I want to say. It could be the Orioles game.
I'm not sure. No, I didn't see that one. I was going to bring up, I was going to segue that into, certain umpires, letter of the law, crossing every T, dotting every I. Where did I have it here? Where did I have it? Where is it? I had it. Oh, there it is. Max Scherzer getting caught with sticky stuff. Though he claims it's just sweat and rosin. The umpire says, "No, it's too much stick, bro. You got to go." And ever since these sticky stuff check, there have only been 3 ejections for sticky stuff, and all 3 of these ejections have come from Phil Cuzzy.
Yeah.
So
I'd be curious to see what you think. Do you think that it was just sweat and rosin, or do you think it was actually something else?
I mean,
Scherzer came out, heavily against this whole thing, right?
Yeah, and I have a
Initially.
video up here too. He gave what was this? This was from SNY from a couple of days ago, where he's just going to accept the suspension, so he's out for 10, and they can't replace a spot on the roster. But there are videos where if you get enough, like if somebody like me who switched profusely could do this easily, just grease your hand up and then just go in with the rosin and just kind of do like a repeated process. There's a video of a guy where you can just go down and stick the ball like this and pull it up, and it'll just glue to your hand.
Yeah.
But then again, too, rosin's a completely legal substance.
Well, yeah, I know that. But apparently it was something more than that from what they're saying.
Yeah, I know there used to be a trick too, guys who would put on excess sunscreen and mix it with rosin, because apparently that combination was super sticky.
Yeah.
But let me pull up the Scherzer thing here.
I think it was Brandon Hyde for the Orioles who got in that confrontation.
That would make
that
would make sense today, because
he was
that
like
game
mic'd up, and he went on a bit of a tirade.
I got suspended today, 10 games. I went to the appeal process, looked at what the appeal process is going to look like. I thought I was going to get in front of a neutral arbitrator, but I wasn't. I was going to be through MLB. So given that process, I really it wasn't going to come out on top, given that. The best thing for the Mets, I'm going to follow what the Mets wanted me to do, and that was to accept the suspension and come to a settlement with that. I came in a settlement with MLB on what the fine should be and move forward in that.
So that's
his one eye always bugs me out, dude. The one eye he has.
Oh, is it a little?
No, look at it, dude. It's like black. It's like legit, totally black.
His eye? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I never noticed that. Is that the eye that he bunted off of years ago? Do you remember that?
I think so.
And then he proceeded to throw like a 2-hit shutout against the Phillies with a busted eye. Yeah.
Could be.
Maybe that's weird. I never noticed that. But yeah, sure. Scherzer's going to accept that suspension, John. So do you think there's any fallout?
Is that a guilty conscience or what? Or I think it's just get it over with.
Well, he said he swears on his kid's life that it was just sweat and rosin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have nothing against Scherzer in that sense. I don't think he'd go out there and say that on his kid's life and lie. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know the man.
I don't know the man either, but you tend to take somebody when they're that vehement. Either they're that vehement because they are lying, or they're that vehement because they really are telling the truth. There's not really a whole lot of in between, right? So either he knows with certainty he did something wrong, or he knows with certainty he didn't do something wrong.
And what's crazy too is, I'm not sure if you saw it with the Yankees pitcher and that whole dilemma where he got caught with stuff in his glove and his hand had something on it and it was sticky. And the umpire comes and checks him and goes, "You need to," in visible view, there's a John Boy video of this that's perfect. Umpire goes, "You need to wash your hands." And they let him go into the dugout to wash his hands. And then he comes back out. And the umpire checks again and goes, "No, you need to scrub your hands good."
Yeah. And
then he goes back in, and he was throwing 4 innings of like no-hit ball by this point.
Really? How did he pitch after he did that? Not as well?
No, somebody broke it down where his spin rates were increased through the first 4 innings. After everything, they went down a couple hundred RPMs.
Yeah.
And then Rocco Baldelli, the Twins manager, comes out and basically is like, "Guys, what the fuck are you doing?" And he gets ejected.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
You have you have a guy using a natural liquid, per se, and a legal drying substance and gets suspended, but you have a guy who we don't know what was on his hand. It was sticky, and the umpire says, just go wash your hands. We're cool.
But I mean, man, discretion. And the more it's kind of left up to chance, the more you're going to have situations like this where we question it, right?
So do you think they're going to change anything with that, or are they going to do is there any kind of process you could put in place? Like,
I mean,
without umpires
explicitly testing, right? I guess that's the only thing is you would, take away the substance or the glove or whatever and send it away for testing to find out for sure. And I guess you'd be pending appeal until that happens, right? I mean, besides that, it is all discretion, right? Because it's the umpire who decides whether he thinks you're using something legit or not, right?
Yeah, I'm sure Phil Cozy would have thrown out the Yankee guy.
Yeah,
that way you could be 4 for 4. Speaking of guys getting thrown out to the curb, left for nothing, though, not getting nothing. The Diamondbacks DFA'd Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, dude. Nobody's picking him up at this point. Somebody might give him the vet minimum, but
yeah, I was because the Diamondbacks are on the hook for $34 million. Again, too, he's not being thrown out with nothing to spare, but any team can pick him up right now for the league minimum of $720,000.
Yeah,
and do whatever they want. But I don't know what. I mean, I know what prompted it. He's pitched terrible this year, and he hasn't been all that good for Arizona. But does that one shock you at all? The quick downfall of Mad Bum
hasn't been quick. Kind of quick, I guess. He hasn't been good for a while. This year he's been really, really bad. I guess it does surprise me a little bit that they did this so soon. Maybe I would have thought they'd give him a little bit more time to work it out. The manager, I guess, talked about it, and everybody feels bad because apparently he's grinding, he's trying. It's just it's just not clicking for him, and it happens sometimes. So whether he's lost a lot of velocity, whether it's that and he's not going to gain it back, or whether it's just in his head, who knows? I don't think he'll get any more than the vet minimum probably at this point, right?
No,
he'll probably give him a shot, whether it be now or coming close to playoff time, but he's not, it's not going to be a bidding war.
No, I'm sure somebody will sign him up for absolutely nothing. But I read there was a report out there too. It was an unidentified player on a rival team basically saying, with Madison Bumgarner pitching now, you have to adjust to him as if it's a position player pitching.
That's pretty rough.
I mean, and I don't ever remember the guy being a flamethrower, but he always had stuff that would dot corners and move.
Yeah, his velocity's down. I think his velocity's down below like 90, dude.
Oh yeah, probably more. It's crazy how quick some of these guys can just go down. Because ever since he was in Arizona, for the most part, once he signed that deal and got his money, you never really heard anything else.
Yeah,
it's not like he was the Cy Young guy or the playoff god that he was with the Giants teams. It was just, oh, hey, I guess Bumgarner's pitching today. So
he'll still get paid. So he's not gonna wallow away in misery, broke at least.
Yeah. You want to get rid of me? Oh, what? And you're going to pay me $34 million, and I don't have to do anything for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
See ya.
And maybe he'll go somewhere else, and a fresh start will help them figure it out. Who knows?
Maybe he goes to Thailand for a year, meets up.
Maybe he follows Trevor Bauer over to Japan.
He's been.
Have you watched his YouTube stuff?
I have.
I haven't. I've seen it it's come up on my search history, probably because you and I are somehow connected in our YouTube accounts. Because
no, if your YouTube account was connected to mine, you would absolutely know. Hold on. Let me go through it real quick because I'm pretty sure
we got to start that segment, dude.
Nah, not on this one. Let's see. I've got Trevor Bauer's first game in Japan, the Tingus Pingus NBA draft. Remember that one? A couple Joe Rogan clips, some car clips, some Star Wars clips. No plane crashes, John.
Unacceptable.
No plane crashes. What was I even going to talk about here? Oh, Bauer. I have been following Bauer's thing a little bit, and there's a video of him explaining why he went to Japan, but I'm not sure if I 100% believe it.
Did you know why I went to Japan?
I mean, yeah, but in the video, he's like, major league teams reached out and offered me a contract, but at the end of the day, I felt Japan was right for me because X, Y, Z, and it's like, You sure,
He
dude?
may have had discussions. I'd be surprised if he had a contract that was worth considering, or even that would be comparable to Japan.
One of the things that kind of irked me with it was there's a quick clip of him on his phone with his agent going over the details of the Japanese contract. And he goes, "What do you mean I can't wear number 69?" And it's like, dude, come on, man.
Not
like,
a very good look.
But you know what his number is?
What is it?
96.
Oh God.
So like,
Yeah.
It just kind of moves like that. Like maybe he's doing like a little jab between the ribs type of thing. Maybe he's that clueless.
That's not how you deal with stuff like that. If I'm no PR whiz, but I would, regardless of the situation that was poor for him to be in, whether what he says was right or what he was accused of actually happened. I mean, either way, you shouldn't put yourself in a position like that regardless. I mean, there's a big difference between what he was accused of and how it actually shook out, right?
Yeah.
But
now
you should not like lean into it. You should apologize profusely regardless, and then never talk about it again. Correct.
What was the one thing? I mean, it's interesting to see him, talk about and go about how, ball in America versus ball in Japan and just the cultural differences. So like that aspect of it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's sitting there joking about like, how come I can't be number 16? It was a short, it had to have been 3 seconds long.
Yeah.
And it's just him. What do you mean I can't be 69? Dude.
And it was edited. We had to have made the decision to include that in the final cut that he released, right? So it's not as if like it came out and he was like, stupid, don't put that in there. It's kind of like, oh yeah,
do it, and then I'll be 96.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm with you on that one. That doesn't sit well with me.
No, I don't. But
whatever.
If you're a fan of Bauer and you want to watch his journey through this year of Japanese baseball, you can go watch his vlog on on YouTube, and just search Trevor Bauer. I'm sure it'll pop up. Speaking of guys not going to Japan and coming back soon, Bryce Harper, baby.
Let's go.
Bryce Harper.
Let's go. He's cleared to hit, right?
He's been hitting. They've been bringing up minor league pitchers for him to have simulated games against. So, like before games and everything, like they've been having Ranger Suarez pitch to him. They brought up a couple guys from the minors on like an off day who threw to him today. So he's getting a simulated like 4 or 5 at bats.
Right.
And there's talks of him not even going on a rehab assignment.
We could use him right now. The Phillies, I should say, could use him. I shouldn't say we. I've never played for the Phillies.
Yeah. Well, we say certain things and everything, and here's what I wanted to share. Basically, I think that tweet came from Matt Galeb. How do you pronounce? I can never pronounce his last name.
Matt Gelb.
Yeah.
GLB, I think, right?
Something like that.
I'm pretty sure.
Talking about guys in the recovery times from Tommy John, and everything in here, and basically the point of this to make it, make Harper sound more superhuman. If Harper returns by the 5th of May, he'll have been 163 days since he underwent Tommy John surgery, which would be the quickest by far anybody has returned from the surgery.
So, does that worry you?
A little bit, but with what they're doing, let me pull it back up here. Where did it go? There it is.
I'm moving him to first, right?
There he is. First baseman Bryce Harper. So that would eliminate basically all throwing you would have to do. So
yeah,
there's that. The only fear I think they have is sliding.
Do you think like that would be a move that was just for him to get back into things? Or do you think they would keep that, like, not obviously 100% permanently, right? You don't think, right? But I don't know.
Well, Hoskin's out for the year.
Yeah.
So that would apparently Harper went to them with the idea for this. He said, how about I take reps at first? So that would move Bohm back to third, Harper at first. Then you have Schwarber, Castellanos, and left and right, and then you just play around with the DH.
Mm-hmm.
So Harper could DH, Schwarber could DH, Castellanos could DH versus matchups.
Yeah.
So in a way, it could be a fast forward type of thing. It could be a prevention thing to stop him from throwing, but to get him hitting. Or it could be a, hey, we lost Rhys Hoskins for the year, so let's see what we can do at first base without having to go get anybody.
Yeah. We'll see.
So I don't. Would you rather see him? Rather have him take his time back, or would you cool with him at first? Do you want him back sooner rather than later? Do you want to play it safe?
I don't know. I'd rather play it safe for how much we're on the hook for him for so long and how much of a stud he is, dude. I don't want to. I'd rather take the long-term viewpoint and be more conservative than try and rush him back right now, this point in the year. You know?
Now, they could also just straight DH him again for the year.
Yeah.
There is that possibility. But I don't know. With him at first, it opens up so much possibility.
It does. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And
at all.
then,
I mean, and how clutch is it now having Brandon Marsh, to help shore up that outfield with or without Harper?
Yeah. I mean, that's your everyday center fielder in Philadelphia for the next 6 years.
I know, right? And how crazy is it that we got him for next to nothing, basically?
Well, you traded one of your top prospects for him, who I read today, Logan O'Hoppy's now out 4 to 6 months with a torn labrum. So the Angels can't catch a break, unfortunately. And actually, now that I think about it, O'Hoppy wasn't even in that trade for Marsh. That was Mickey Moniak.
Mm-hmm.
And then deadline last year, they reached back out to LA and traded O'Hoppy for Syndergaard.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it was O'Hoppy and Moniak for Marsh.
Yeah, I'll take that if I'm a Philly.
Oh, I would too. It's actually a rare time where, at least right now, before the injury for O'Hoppy was made public, that both teams have won the trade early on.
Well, yeah.
Speaking of guys making a return, Fernando PED user Tatis made his debut Thursday, a few days ago now. And did you see the comments of the minor league pitchers?
Yes, I was just gonna bring that up to you.
Yeah, well, what do you go ahead and explain that one?
There was something that went on between them, and basically they called him a cheater, right?
Yeah, the pitcher he was raking the AAA guys, just absolutely raking them in 15 at bats. He had 5 or 6 home runs and was hitting 380 whatever, and just ripping the cover off the ball. And he's sitting here boasting and everything. And one of the guys who gave up the dinger for the pitcher was just like, "Well, yeah, you should be ripping us apart because you cheated."
Hey, I kind of like that.
And then that started a whole thing. But how do you feel about him making his return, John? After the whole PED scandal.
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, it doesn't seem to get the same type of traction it would have a while ago, right? I mean, he doesn't have the scarlet letter on him like maybe would have seen 10, 15 years ago. Do I think that's right? I don't know about that. I mean, I guess cheating's become more prevalent and people have gotten caught doing it more, so that it doesn't leave the tarnish that maybe it did before, but I still think it should for sure, so.
I mean, and he did get slapped with an 80 game. So it's his first.
Yeah. I mean, public
thing,
perception though, probably.
But what also just kind of made it a little more kind of, what are you doing, you idiot type of thing, was, remember last year too, he broke his wrist on an ATV accident or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then while he was trying to come back from that, he got busted with the PED. I forget what it exactly was, but it was so I didn't know I was taking it, or it was mixed with something else. And
that's how it always is. Right.
I never buy that crap.
No, of course not.
You're a professional athlete. Know what's going into your body.
You make millions of dollars to read the label at GNC, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or pay somebody to do it for you, I guess. I don't know.
Didn't he? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got a massive extension too. So.
He did. He got paid big time.
Yeah. So his last 3 games from MLB.com, Thursday. Let's see. The 21st, he went 1 for 4. The 22nd, yesterday, he hit his first home run back, going 1 for 4. And then today, he went 1 for 5. So not exactly lighting the world up right now. So I guess that's the
AAA pitching's different than Major League pitching, eh?
Yeah.
You're not in the juice.
Exactly. So he's playing right field now full time, so we'll see how that pans out. So what else was? Here we go. We'll veer off here a little bit. I have no segue for this. Now that the games, I did bring this up when I was at the Orioles game, talking with my brother and a couple friends and everything, was with the games being a half hour shorter now, will they cut the beer sales off quicker, or what will they try to do? Well, the Brewers came out and said they're going to experiment with lasting till the 8th inning. Matt Strom, Philly pitcher, said, why would you go to the 8th inning and make it longer? Why wouldn't you cut them off in the 6th and give people a little more time to sober up?
Yeah. Somebody from the Phillies came out. I think it was the whatever pitcher it was that was
Strom.
starting. Yeah. And basically said, it's a billionaire's game, so they're going to do anything they can to try and get every ounce of revenue there. But if you're really thinking about it, like, does that 20-30 minute difference, like, if you're really debating about that, should you be driving in the first place? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. It's an unexpected byproduct of it. I'd err on the side of caution. I'd say give up a little bit of money, make it up another way, So I don't know. It's like you don't look at people with a straight face and try and like hold up this mantle of, morality when you're trying to like change the rules and make things less safe to try and squeeze out some more revenue when you're already probably in the black by billions of dollars, a year.
I got when I was at the Orioles game, I only saw the beer man come around one time. Which, what are you doing there?
Right.
Come on, beer man.
Ridiculous.
You know how much 2 16-ounce beers cost me?
Yinglings or Natty Bows?
They were Coors Lights.
Oh, not Bud Light?
No Bud Light.
I'd say two of those.
No. I know where you're going with that. He did not have any Bud Lights in the thing.
Interesting.
There were no.
$32.
It was with tip. It was about 25.
Yeah.
25.
It's highway robbery, man.
It was almost $10 or $11 per.
Because they don't make enough profit in that transaction. They need to make more and more and more, right?
Yeah.
Good God, dude.
So
you can get a case of beer for $25. Literally.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had this, like, this. It's kind of the reason I don't even, like, if I go to a ball game or I'll drink like one beer and then I'll, like, if I try not to eat at the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to drink at the ballpark. I try to do everything beforehand. Because like you said, do you want to spend $25 or $30 on 2 beers, 3 beers maybe? Or do you want to, say you and I go to the game, we each throw $20 in for something and we get 2 cases of whatever.
Yeah.
And that's 60 beers right there.
Exactly. We'll have them for a while. We're not going to drink them all that day. Right. But
no.
But you're right. It's just, it becomes an economic decision, and it's I mean, me, I don't drink.
I mean, I'm not one in the financial field, so, but to me that makes sense. Where
that makes sense. It's a trade-off. I mean, it's the experience, right? But they've made it discriminatory. They've made it so ridiculously expensive that it's hard to justify.
Yeah. So, what would your plan be? You said you would try to hold all, you would kill it in the 6th and make sure people kind of, have a chance to get home safe.
6th or 7th. I mean, I wouldn't extend it any longer, right? I mean, you can't look somebody in the face and say, we have to extend it longer because the games are quicker, which means in the remaining innings going to go by much quicker. That's ridiculous. What's the point of cutting it off at all if you go to the 8th inning?
Yeah.
So I'd say the way it is probably fine, right? I mean,
I wouldn't. I could see the argument for cutting it off in the 6th, but I just leave it in the 7th.
Yeah, I could see either one of those, not extending it.
I would not extend it.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the thing I was going to bring up? The total time of games anymore.
Coke, by the way, I'm not drinking beer right now.
It's okay.
What
is that a Diet Coke or is that like a Diet RC?
Yeah,
there it is.
So
I think right now the total time of games, like it's just a half hour quicker.
Yeah, basically.
So, yeah. Again, too, like we've been over the pitch clock and the timing and everything before, but I don't want to dig that back up. But it's to save half an hour, really.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of beer and beer sales and everything, the Baltimore Orioles are not doing beer bongs. They are doing the dong bong. Have you?
I did see that. It's pretty cool.
So again, it's a little older, but let me. Where did I have it? There it is. The dong bong, and that is water. That is high quality H2O going down the tube. So I believe that was from today's game from McCann. It might be James McCann, I think.
Yeah, because Frank the Tank was buzzing about how great he was for the Mets, and now he's on a tear for the O's.
And how much he hated Darren Ruff, and now he's back with the Giants and just ripping the cover off the ball.
Yeah, the Mets are cursed.
They are. If you're ranking home run celebrations, like obviously each team has its own thing going on. I think the Angels have like a giant like samurai hat or something. I don't know. Do you know any other ones that you can think of off the top of your head, John? Or how does the dong bong rank for you?
Dude, tops. I love the trend. Love the trend, dude.
And we're promoting healthy hydration.
Make baseball fun again, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I can. Let me do a Google search here just real quick of celebrations. Celebration props for the 2023 season. So the Red Sox have dumbbells, which is kind of dumb.
Dumb bells.
Oh, the Pirates have a sword.
That's kind of cool.
That's pretty. Yeah, they have a sword. The Braves have the big hat. The Angels have the samurai helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Samurai Jack. That's kind of funny. ESPN just goes, Baltimore Orioles, whatever this is, it's called the dong bong, guys. Blue Jays have the Phantom Home Run jacket. Brewers have a cheesehead crown. And that's the ones that they list. So those seem to be the popular ones right now. Anyone you want to see a video of?
I mean, the dong bong's the best one by far.
Dong bong.
Everything else is kind of like, it's all right. It's something.
Yeah.
But
the
Orioles are an easy team to root for.
Yeah, I really want the Orioles to do well this year. I really do.
I think most everybody does, honestly, dude. Especially around here. I mean, we know a handful of Orioles fans, and Camden being an hour and 15 minutes from where we sit right now, right?
And that ball.
Yeah, and honestly, from where we're at, it's such an easy drive to get down there too.
Dude, it is.
I in for the first time. I was down there last 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's the first time I ever took the light rail in.
How was that? I never did that before.
Convenient. We got it. We picked it up in Timonium and rode down in. Getting out was kind of a pain, but that's just because everybody's trying to load onto the same train.
Yeah. So I mean, it's probably like an hour drive to Timonium and then 15, 20 minutes from there in on the light rail.
Yes. Here we go. There's the. Is that brought up still? Yes, it is. Okay. Come on. Wait, did they already do it? Oh, okay. Why would they? Did they even show it?
They didn't show it. I don't think they just.
Oh, they cut away from it.
Way to go, Tim.
Whatever. Come on, ESPN. It's water. It's water. So yeah, that one right now takes the cake for me.
Oh, speaking of freaking, did you see that one? Who was it that was on one of these podcasts that was talking about the All-Star game with Ozzie Guillen, and it's the White Sox catcher. It wasn't Persinski, was it? No, it wasn't.
Persinski was a long time ago. Grandal.
What's that?
Yasmani Grandal.
No, it was. I mean, he's retired now.
Oh,
might have been Pierzynski. I don't know. I think it was with the White Sox, but apparently he was in the All-Star game, and he had like catched for like 19 innings the day before. And so Guillen's like, there's no way you're going to be starting in any way, shape, or form or playing in this game at all. Right. So he said, it's kind of, coyly that like, it's maybe possible that Ozzie Guillen was feeding him a cocktail or two while he was hanging out in the dugout to make sure he didn't go in. And they said something along the lines of like, it wouldn't have, he said it wouldn't have been the first time he may have come into a game and had to hit a dinger after having a little buzz.
That sounds like the video I just watched. John Kruk explaining how the Phillies used to hang out in the locker room, and John Kruk's be like, we come in after the game, and right on this table right here is where I would sit. There used to be an ashtray bolted in right here, and right up on top would be a pack of cigarettes and 2 pitchers of beer for me.
Yeah.
And Darren Dalton would sit on this table over here, just showing off how great his body was. And then Lenny Dykstra was in the gym lifting weights. And I didn't understand why he was lifting weights, because we got to go back out tomorrow. So why not rest up? And as I'm sitting there just drinking pitchers of beer,
counting it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just 93 John Kruk, and it's great.
Crucky, dude, the man.
What else was I gonna? Let's touch on this one. This will be the last thing we touch on here. MLB is going to try some new rules here, John. They're going to play them out in the Atlantic League, and if I'm not mistaken, the Atlantic League's the independent league that has like the Barnstormers and everything in it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure it's an independent league because it was a whole.
It is. I think you're right. The Revolution and the Barnstormers.
Unofficial MLB partner, yeah. So it's got the Lancaster Barnstormers and the York Revolution.
The Revs.
So what they're doing I have it up here on my own Facebook page. Let me scroll back down here. So what they're going to do, they're going to try out 3 rules. They're going to do a designated pinch runner. So a guy that's not in the lineup can come in and run for somebody, but they don't have to take their spot in the field. So, for example, you could have Schwarber or I'll just say Schwarber because he's a slow guy I'm thinking of. Schwarber hits a single and you're down a run early. So you put a guy like Pache in at first to get more speed, but then Schwarber takes his spot back out in the field.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's more it's more kind of AAU kind of what's the phrasing I'm looking for? Showcase baseball type of thing, which is what a lot of these rules are kind of stemming off from. They want to experiment with the pitchers doing a single disengagement per at bat. So that would mean only 1 pickoff attempt or 1 step off every hitter. So even more base stealing. And then the double hook DH. Any idea, John, what you think the double hook DH means?
None. 0.
Okay, well, let me sum it up here for you. The double hook DH. You start your team starts with its designated hitter. If your pitcher does not complete 5 innings, your starting pitcher doesn't go 5 innings, and you replace that pitcher, you lose your DH, and the pitcher spot takes the spot of the DH.
I don't know if I like that. I
mean,
mean,
it's an incentive to keep your pitcher in longer.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, if your pitcher is giving up 7 runs in the first or second inning, like what does baseball want you to keep trotting that guy out there to get 16 runs? Yeah, but if it's 16-0, is that better baseball?
Exactly. Or I read this comment, which I tend to agree with here. What if the guy takes a screaming line drive off the head?
Yeah, right.
What if he goes to cover first and he tears his knee apart or his Achilles gets ripped in half?
Yeah.
Like you're going to penalize a team because the guy's phantomly blew up? Apparently MLB is. I don't like that. No, I hate that rule. Is like, I don't want to see any more rule changes. Like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. Like, you promised to get rid of the ghost runners, and they stuck around. You made a pitch clock, which half the league still can't get down right. We can't even tell the difference between sticky stuff, and we're sitting here trying to keep a time clock on everything. Yeah. I'm with you. They should. I mean, you're right. They've had enough rule changes to last a while. Let's just slow your roll a little bit on this stuff, right? Yeah. So as we wind down here, is there anything anything that you saw that I missed, John? Anything you want to bring up?
I mean, we're getting in the groove of things now, right? The first couple of series, the excitement of those kind of wear off right now, and you get into the grind a little bit. But it'll be interesting to see if some of those early, teams like the Pirates and Rays can keep things going, and see if the Phils have it in them to bounce back and make the NL East interesting. But got a long ways ahead. So
yeah, let me see if there's any. I know Sunday we had a few games out already, so let me see if there's anybody else playing right now. Give
Phils
a quick
won,
update on that. Phils won, Orioles won in a walk-off.
wild pitch walk-off, right? We talked about that.
Yeah, wild pitch. The Mets are currently beating the Giants in the bottom of the fourth. The Pirates beat the Reds again. The Astros beat the Braves. Jays beat the Yankees. Rays beat the White Sox. Guardians beat the Marlins. Yeah, everybody else is final. So the only game right now would be Mets Giants in the bottom of the fourth. So
What's that for?
Mets 3, Giants 2. Looks like let me pull it up here. Yeah, Mets have 6 hits. Giants had a home run from Estrada. Mets had a double by Lindor. No home runs yet, so we'll see how Frank the Tank deals.
He's been buzzing. They had a starter come in that was what the heck was it? 2 nights ago, had a real good start from a guy that was more like AAA, Loreners or something like that. I don't know. I can't think of his name off the top of my head now.
That's how it always goes.
Yeah.
I was sitting here too beforehand, like, trying to figure out things to put in here too. It's like, oh wait, how did I forget about these 3 things?
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's something I missed. So we'll just chalk that up to me being an idiot. But it's Sunday night and we got to get ready for work on Monday morning. Yay.
Unfortunately, the Sunday scaries, right?
So thanks for checking us out here, guys. Thanks for watching along. Make sure you check out our sponsors: Elite Performance, What's Poppin' Corn Snacks, Revved Up Tattoos, Prints and Memories, Doc Sportsbook. Go support them. Check everything out here on the BW Sports One page. Blogs or other podcasts offered by the network. Final word, John?
Keep on keeping on. Long season. We'll keep up with it.
We'll keep up with it. You all keep on keeping on. If I can hit this end button.